Leadership is always considered to be one of the most important factor in leader-manager relationship. While we talk about the managerial function can never be described or can never be thought about with the predominant factors of leadership function. There are n numbers of leadership styles. The different persons, the different people have talked about different types and which are considered to be a major thought provoking area as far as the process is concerned. Now, here, I just would like to understand leadership as a whole, as I understand, is a process of inspiration. It's a process of inspiring persons, group, society, country. So, it's a process of inspiration where a person, a leader, induce certain thoughts, certain actions, certain beliefs through which, uh, you know, a person, a group of others start believing that this is the ideal process, this is the way I should or we should move. That's why the leadership moves. As I said, that it's an inspirational process. Now, along with inspiration, it offers or it should provide knowledge, good training, good understanding, and a development of individual and the team. Without knowledge and development, the inspiration cannot be provided. Knowledge and development may not always be related to books or subject. It can be related to the situation, the condition, and the future. As I talk about the n number of, uh, you know, the leadership process, uh, it is very important to understand the leadership cannot just remain at one factor or one stage all the time. The different situation demands different type of leadership. Now, when we see the different type of leadership, we emphasize it in the latest uh, concept as situational leadership. In situational leadership, a leader is supposed to act according to the situation and he provides the team the overall leadership through different ways and means. The leadership not always mean that it should constantly be a motivating one, but it can motivate through control, it can motivate through direction, it can motivate through the process of knowledge imparting knowledge. So the motivation does not always mean a leader supposed to talk about only good things. A leader, as he is or she is, uh, you know, uh, uh, the supposed to be uh, the main person to lead the whole situation. So uh, he or she must behave accordingly. In this way, as I would like to emphasize, this situational leadership is the ultimate. And the situational leadership, as far as the process is concerned, it is interchanging. Situational leadership does not remain static at any given point of time. What I want to mean, if a leader is trying to uh, delegate, is trying to delegate the process to a group or an individual, it does not mean that the delegation will continue continuously. The delegation, as it stands with empowerment, as it stands with review process, needs reshaping. And when it's reshaping, it looks into the further process of going back, whether it requires the direction, whether it requires knowledge impartment, and further. So, leadership is a situational process, is a situational leadership as it states, which is interchanging, and a good leader must understand when to shift and when to shift back and how to intermingle the process continuously. An effective leader can be summarized as one who is not just strict to one process, because a person to whom is supposed to lead, a group whom one's supposed to lead, is a variable one. The situations and the context are variable. The human beings does not remain the same at all time, and their ideas, motives can change. So accordingly, a leader process of understanding must change. There are other type of leadership also, which is known as autocratic leadership. Autocratic leadership does not stand any relevant at this time, because it does not provide that involvement of the people and the innovative power of the human being to get into the system. An autocratic system, that's how, is an irrelevant one. Participative leadership is there, but again, the participative leadership has its limit. The participative leadership, until and unless the team is well groomed, formidably knowledgeable, and highly skilled, and the vision has a definite momentum, this participative leadership may not be very fruitful all the time, but it's certainly one of the most important area of leadership, where the people feel, as a group, they have the value. They have the value to open up. With all these, leadership, understanding factors and process. Uh, the task oriented uh, leadership is another one where, you know, the task is the main factor. The task is the objective, and the leader and the team is only concerned with the task. This is also one of the most important area of the leadership process, but again, it is having its own limitations. So ultimately, as it stands, that a leader must have, you know, the vision of when and how to change his process of leadership and the value to be given to the whole team. Uh, in this context, I must say one thing, one problem of a leader. The most important problem of a leader, throughout the time, a team cannot remain in the same type of momentum. It has its variability. It can go sometime very high speed with high momentum, and sometimes maybe not at the possible, the desired one. Now, this can happen for various reasons, and the team factor, a major area where the team motivation, functioning, and their participation is the most important area. Now, when we talk about team, the team comes through individual. So each individual counts, and each individual, how they are progressing, how they are, involving themselves to the whole process. That's very important. Here, sometimes the major issue may be or may come through one individual because of his or her not that uh, productive association. That may be for various reasons. As maybe, he was or she was earlier very productive, highly motivated one, but, for some reasons that momentum has lost. Maybe it is, because of situational context, personal context, or whatever it may be. But the situation is negative, and that has an effect to the team. So sometimes it so happens that all on a sudden a person becomes too ambitious. She feels that uh, whatever one has done, that's good enough uh, for for him or her to be rewarded. But that reward is not there at that time, and that is why, you know uh, one is functioning in a demotivating and sometimes in a negative factor. So that's another very crucial aspect to understand, and a very difficult situation for a leader. Because why difficult? As earlier, that person was highly productive. He or she has given result, and all on a sudden has become this. Changes has occurred. Again, a situation to be looked into. Another situation may be not only become negative, but become, anti sort of a person, not thinking or working in favor of the team, in favor of the objectives, and maybe doing something wrong elsewhere, which has a negative effect on the team. A leader again has to understand, as I earlier said, that he or she must be proactive to understand and act on this sort of situation, which is very, very detrimental to the whole team as a function. Leadership has so many factors to describe. It's a vast subject. And I'm too very simple person who is still trying to understand uh, this uh, depth of the subject. But one thing is true, that it's a continuous learning process, and one must try and learn the process, which is sometime changes do have certain basics one has to follow, but changes are always there, and accordingly, one must think and work. That's very important. Thank you.